Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Tuesday, the 25th of June, 2024. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 closed up 1.4% today to 7,839 points, the best single session in almost 6 weeks. All of the 11 sub-indices of the bourse closed higher, led by the energy, materials, real estate and financials indexes. Some of the best companies included Woodside and Santos, which both benefited from higher oil prices. The banks did well, as did BHP and Rio Tinto. Plenty of corporate news around the place today. Paladin Energy's share price fell 5% after it said it had made a takeover bid for Toronto-listed Fission Uranium. Pathology group Helios rose slightly following a results update. Specialty dairy company Synlat Milk tumbled 10% after warning it could tip into insolvency if shareholders rejected a critical $120 million loan approval. And billionaire Czech businessman Pavel Tykak's plans to buy a majority stake in ASX-listed coal miner Coronado Global Resources have collapsed after his family office, Seven Global Investments, that's SEV.EN, Seven Global Investments, failed to secure Foreign Investment Review Board approval. Seven had agreed to buy 51% of Coronado from Energy and Minerals Group, a US-based private equity firm that put together the miner and floated it on the ASX in 2018. Story number 2, consumer sentiment is rising, which is good for the economy, though households remain pessimistic about pretty much everything. The Westpac Melbourne Institute Consumer Sentiment Index rose to 83.6 points, but that remains well below the neutral level of 100, meaning pessimists outnumber optimists by nearly 20 percentage points. The good news from budget initiatives in recent weeks are being negated by increased concerns about inflation and the outlook for interest rates. The survey shows that half of consumers expect mortgage rates to rise over the next 12 months, and when asked, survey respondents recalled budget and tax and inflation news more than anything else. Story number 3, billions of dollars of investment in wind farms has been unable to boost energy generation during the June quarter, contributing to the squeeze on East Coast gas supplies. Electricity generation from wind farms in the national electricity market since April 1 is roughly flat compared with the same quarter in 2021, despite about 2,500 megawatts of wind capacity having been added since then, according to an analysis by electricity market watcher Global Roam. Since 2020, wind power capacity has increased by about half, or almost 4,000 megawatts, but total production of electricity from wind this June quarter may only be up 15%, the analysis finds, with the current quarter heading towards being the lowest output since 2017. Now, according to a report in the Financial Review, energy advisors have previously warned about the risk of a renewables drought in winter months, where there's a prolonged period when both solar and wind power generation are subdued. Story number 4, times are getting tougher for Collins Foods, owner of fast food group KFC, as customers cut back spending. Higher mortgage bills, rents and energy bills, as well as inflation, are all eating into consumer spending, and Collins Foods, including the 279 KFC outlets, reported same-store sales nearly 1% lower than last year. And the outlook for the upcoming year ain't much better, according to Interim Chief Executive Kevin Perkins. The group will look closely at introducing more bundling of menu items in special offers to help families under pressure with household budgets. There was some better news in the Taco Bell side of the business, with same-store sales up over the last year. The rollout of Taco Bell's chain has been suspended temporarily, Mr. Perkins said. Overall, Collins Foods' net profit jumped 500% to $77 million with record revenue. Collins Foods' share price had tumbled 25% this year. Yesterday's announcement was better than expected, and its share price jumped 7.5%, which was actually the best of the top 200 for the session. And story number 5, Apple is the first company to be charged with violating the Digital Markets Act, a law passed in 2022 that gives European regulators wide authority to force the largest online gatekeepers to change their business practices, according to a report in the New York Times. The most recent charges further escalate a tussle between Apple, which says its products are designed in the best interest of customers, and EU regulators, who say the company is unfairly using its size and considerable resources to stifle competition. It's an argument that regulators here in Australia are watching very closely. That's it for the afternoon report for Tuesday, the 25th of June, 2024. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Instagram, X, TikTok and Facebook. Join Michael Thompson and I tomorrow morning for the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed, the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.